Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's session on transforming broken CX to seamless CX. One of the most important trends in the last 3 years has been the change in consumer preferences and expectations from brands. An EY Consumer Index study highlighted that customer experience has emerged as the top priority for consumers when determining whether they want to spend with the brand or not. Delivering high impact customer experiences is key to adding value to the customer and long term value for the organization. Today, consumers are digitally connected to such a degree that they expect organizations to deliver a consistent, high quality CX across channels. So, to meet these customer expectations, organizations need to build a modern digital CX to unlock the next level of customer understanding, increase productivity and efficiency, as well as drive customer satisfaction. So, in this conversation, I'm joined by some of the leaders in the digital customer experience. I would now like to introduce my first panelist for the day, Mr. Vishal Agarwal, co-founder and CEO, Locobuzz. Welcome, Vishal.
Hi, Devesh. Hi, everyone.
Glad you could take out time for this, Vishal. Thank you. My next panelist for the day is Ms. Shubhi Agarwal, co-founder and COO, Locobuzz. Welcome, Shubhi.
Good evening, everybody. Nice to be here.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us, Shubhi. And my final panelist for the day is Mr. Vijay Vittal, Lead Product Innovation, Locobuzz.
Hi, everyone. Glad to be here.
Thank you. Thank you. And I'm your host for the day, Devesh Gupta, Lead Product and Community, ET Brand Equity. Welcome, everyone. I'll begin with my first question. Can you share a brief introduction about yourselves, Locobuzz, and the purpose of your company? Vishal, I'll begin with you first on this one.
Sure. Thanks, Devesh. So my name is Vishal Agarwal. I'm one of the founders of Locobuzz, and my key responsibility is around making sure that we keep growing and we help our customers win their business goals as well. Locobuzz is a global enterprise software development company. We focus on digital customer experience. When you think about purpose and real impact, I think to sum it up, we help organizations to build long-term customer loyalty, trust, and advocacy.
Shubhi, you want to go next?
Yes, sure. So I am actually working as a co-founder and COO at Locobuzz. I look after the client relationships. So basically, establishing Locobuzz as a technology leader and sort of creating the responsibilities and relationships in the market where people are trusting us with their customer experience management. And we have been pretty successful because over more than about 200 clients across the globe are using our product as we speak, and not only are happy with what they have been able to achieve in terms of establishing a unified customer experience, but also seeing a lot of changes in the way CX has actually evolved in their companies, where the relationship with the customer goes beyond a single transaction, and that's ultimate goal of a successful CX, where you are able to increase the lifetime value of a customer for the brand.
Okay. And finally, Vijay, because product is the key to the growth of every organization. So please.
Yes. So as you said, right, product is the key, and I look at my responsibilities here as ability for me and leverage my passion to give best tools available from the use of technology in the hands of the CX and the marketing leaders to ensure they have that long-lasting relationship and having meaningful conversation with every conversation that they're having with their customer. Think of us as the character Q in James Bond, giving the right gadgets to the Bond to be successful every time. Think of us as that way.
Absolutely. So during this discussion, I will start addressing you not as Vijay. I will start addressing you as Q, Dr. Q. Over to coming to you, Vishal. Customer service has shifted from IVRs and email to many newer channels. I still remember the days when I used to stand in queues to getting my SIM card fixed, or you're talking about, how much money I've spent on, on my phone bills, on IVRs. Today, I can do this via apps. There are so many channels in the mix. What is this approach different, for different categories, to build an optimal CX journey for their customers?
Sure. See, IVR was never exciting. Nobody went to an IVR system figuring out, let's see what options they will throw at me today, right? It was always a navigation or a fight to figure out what do I have to press 109 to talk to somebody to help me solve my problem. I think with all happening around us, if anything which has changed very significantly is people's need and want to get an instant solution to their problem, right?
Okay.
And for the brands, the complexity has increased many-fold because the customer is not just on phone, but they are on many different touch points across various kinds of social media platforms, review sites, messaging channels, and so forth. So one of the best way to build an optimal CX journey is to be able to identify your customer segments and their communication preferences, being able to map their customer journey with the touch points, right? And instead of looking at it as like a multi-channel, but look at it more like a integrated true omnichannel experience, right? Something what like a Netflix provides, right? As you move across devices.
Sure.
And then prioritize your need of customer service based on the customer profile. Being able to create this unified view becomes extremely important to be able to enable all of this, right? And then you have to continuously measure and optimize because things evolve, right? What's working now will not work after 3 months. So measurement and understanding of this measurement is extremely important.
So, Shubhi, coming to you, what are the priorities of organizations, who take a leap to build a strong digital CX to engage customers? And what are the complexities involved, when you're trying to drive a uniform customer experience across different digital channels?
Sure. So it's actually a very interesting question. Thank you for asking this. The main thing which any brand which is actually prioritizing digital CX is the mantra has to be the customer centricity, because once that happens, everything sort of follows, whether it is in terms of the feature functionalities within the product, as well as the internal systems and processes. So what we have seen that once a brand goes ahead and establish a customer-centric approach, these brands become the trailblazers, which are actually setting up examples for other people to follow from there. Now, also from the complexity part of things, social media as a platform has evolved tremendously, and different platforms have different kind of complexities which are sort of inherent to the platform itself. Add that to the complexity of having different kind of TGs, because a LinkedIn will have a different kind of a TG versus an Instagram versus a Twitter versus a Facebook. So add all those layers. So for a brand manager, it becomes very complicated to balance out the complexity of managing a TG and of also managing a particular platform. So that's where we are trying to help them create an omni-channel experience where, regardless of which channel your customer is coming from, you are sorted because you've created and you've already thought through all those strategies which will help you navigate this entire situation in a very beautiful manner.
Can you give an example of a brand that became a trailblazer in the industry, to which others kind of followed the suit when they invested on digital CX, they sorted out all these complexities, and the customers started having a great experience?
Actually, there are not one, there are many like that. Like I said, we work with almost 200 customers. So the largest telecom provider to a largest hospitality chain, which is present in the country, right from so these were the brands which actually first of all saw the need and established the need of a proper digital unified CX experience. And what they have done is beautiful, because what they have also done is they have integrated the CX system very, very seamlessly within their existing CRM, etc. So right from establishing a unified view of, or a single view of a customer, to managing different platforms through one single technology platform. They have done it all, and the results are quite evident, because right from increasing the TG, managing it very well, they have been able to go ahead and establish, like I said before, relationships with their consumers which go beyond transactions, and the retention becomes high, the customer satisfaction becomes high, which obviously leads into customer loyalty and better brand advocacy. And we have seen all these things happen. The results which are measurable, is in terms of how you are actually perceived in the market when it comes to your entire sentiment analysis. Also from the revenue perspective, the marketing ROI perspective, you're able to see results in various matrices which we have, which the partner clients that we have been working with, we have seen success stories like that.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Taking forward from, Shubhi, my question is to you, Vishal. So what is the value creation you have observed in organizations that invest in CX, for the customer as well as for the organization?
My answer has changed a lot since a very interesting interaction with a leading brand this morning, which triggered from social media. I'll share that story in a bit. But for customers, the best thing is the brand becomes personable. The brand actually is reachable. A brand has a personality, and the brand becomes more human, if I may. And that's very powerful. So that enables seamless experience, that enables personalization, because these are the characteristics you associate with your people around you, right? So when the brand is personalizing its conversation, it's becoming more human, it's becoming more likable. Just thinking about it brings a smile on my face, right? So that's something which is very, very important. And in this age of differentiators being very limited, how you treat your customers is something which becomes extremely, extremely important. For organizations, it gives you an opportunity. I want to underscore the word opportunity, because what you do with this opportunity is, like I said, I had a very interesting experience this morning, is up to them. It gives them an opportunity to eliminate these silos, whether it is working on different products, different data sets, different teams, but bring more value, unlock more value for your consumers and for your organizations by bringing all stakeholders onto the same connected ecosystem. You are able to then also create one view of the customer. So you understand, where a person is coming from based on their feedback on various customer touch points, be it Twitter, be it Facebook or whatsoever, right? And then you're able to combine this online and offline data to really understand, the value or the potential value of a customer. You can reduce churn, you can improve customer satisfaction score, and ultimately you increase the lifetime value of the customer. So the small story, to share, I ordered something from one of these quick delivery, one of the two, right? Only two. So I'll leave it guessing for customers here. And I ordered a Dr. Trust thermometer. And, my kids were not well. And I got a fake product because I didn't even know what a Dr. Trust thermometer looks like, but I knew it's a decent brand. And I saw the printing, everything was very unaligned and very shabby and shaken. I thought, it doesn't look like even a basic product, so leave alone a decent brand. So I ordered it from, an e-commerce website. And then I put the two products together. I'm like, oh my God, they're so different. And then I tweeted about it, and my concern was that it's a healthcare product. Somebody uses it, you measure somebody's fever incorrectly, you give the wrong dosage of the medicine. People, some of the parents are not such experienced parents like me, right? So things can go haywire, but the brand didn't handle it nicely at all. There was concerns shown both from the delivery app as well as Dr. Trust, but nobody took it to conclusion, leaving me with a feedback that, they just don't care, and which is not nice, right?
That's
You have a fake
interesting.
product being sold, on a prominent platform, you should be worried, right?
No, absolutely. I mean,
Absolutely.
So it gives you an opportunity. It gives you an amazing opportunity. And if the delivery app knows my profile, they know very well that I am a regular customer. I don't unnecessarily go and write about them. It gives them a great opportunity to understand the feedback on who it's coming from, why it's coming, and the larger purpose of it.
So,
no,
Devesh,
no.
I just wanted to add here, actually, CX is not something which you do one day in a week, 1 hour in a day. It every
Absolutely.
day, like for a moving business, it's just something which you will do with every single interaction that you have with your customer, because that is an opportunity for you to create your brand as somebody who's personable, somebody who can be trusted. And that's what we want to sort of talk about in this entire conversation, because the opportunities are so many, and if you have the trust kind of technology and the trust that you sort of deserve, it changes the whole story around and the narrative around the brand, and it just perception changes. And I think that's the major that would be a major success for the brand.
No, absolutely. I mean, like, I can imagine that healthcare brand will face a lot of difficulty in acquiring Vishal again as a customer because he's had a, bad experience. And also the trust on the e-commerce platform, from where you ordered is also kind of diminished. And one word that gets circulated, at least we have four here and, 100 people listening to us. So that's like 104 people are, may end up trusting a little less, on that e-commerce brand. So moving to you, Vijay. Today many organizations have a CRM system and a contact center to receive customer queries. How does Locobuzz CX suite add value above that? Since we're talking about value, so let's talk about how does Locobuzz CX suite add value?
Correct. So there's a CRM system, which is basically your system of record. It records who your customers are, what are their preferences, their transaction, their transactional history with you, right? What is the relationship with them is defined there. Then you also have your your contact center, right? It is your system of action. You use a software in order to connect with your customer, but on traditional channels like voice, sometimes email. Right. What Locobuzz brings to the table here is Locobuzz is a system of intelligence and experience. Right. So Locobuzz, as by design, there is a lot of understanding about the customer and the context, because it is mostly on verbatim. You're able to already decipher what is this customer talking about, where is this interaction going. Right now, how do we add value and what kind of challenges do we solve? Is first thing, the principles for Locobuzz is not all conversations are ticket. Ability to identify which ones are a case, a customer service intent, so that it is routed to the relevant team, so that they can continue the conversation with the customer history. That is something we are able to kind of differentiate. Whenever you look at a CRM or a contact center, you don't see that kind of a differentiation built in to the platform to differentiate between conversations and interaction. Then especially when we look at social media, right, it needs a lot of social first principles to be adhered to. For example, you are going to talk to me on a public post, but many cases I want to take you to a private channel and have a one-on-one conversation with you. So those kind of like functionalities are needed for modern organizations to operate at scale, right? And then labeling of the conversation. All of these are today technology allows you to automatically label this conversation, so that you're able to understand what kind of conversations are building up, so that you can take proactive corrective actions to curb those requests coming to you. Maybe use automation to respond very quickly and things like that. And social or other digital mediums or digital channels are the only place where you get more customer information at the first go, right? With an email or a phone number, is just numbers and email address. You can't decipher much about the customer if you don't know that person already. But when you come to social, there's so much information available at the first hello from the customer itself, right? So you can really orchestrate this conversation in a way to convert this happy customer, happy audience to a customer, to not so happy customer into a like satisfied customer at the end of the interaction.
Interesting. Shubhi, Vijay has been talking about, how, most of the organizations today, modern organizations are using it. So is every organization now looking at leveraging CX suite, or is there some kind of hesitation in adapting to it?
So, Devesh, it's like this. CX is something like a multivitamin now.
That
So it's something which is needed. It becomes painkiller at times, but that's at the time of crisis. So
okay.
if we continue using our
I think
multivitamins,
you're missing the point that the brands should think of themselves as 50 plus. So multivitamins become like painkillers only. Very important.
so here's the whole thing around CX is it's still, like all said and done, it's still in its early days, right? So the hesitation which happens primarily happens because there is not enough data to sort of say that, okay, because I'm investing it right now, this money into streamlining my CX process, this will be the long term impact. Yes, there is research which is available in the market today, which says that about 80% of your business happens because of the 20% of your customers, because again, they are the repeat customers, they are the loyal customers, they keep coming back, they give you references and all of that. But the overall impact of this measurably is not available because the data is not available. It's still too early. So right now, when you're putting that money aside to streamline your processes, you're basically putting that as an investment without knowing exactly where we are headed. And I think that sort of brings the little bit of hesitation which you mentioned into the brand manager's mind. But having said that, it is something which is now needs to be done, has to be done, and is being done by different brands. And we have seen that not only big brands, even the smaller brands, like those who are just starting out, they are cognizant about it. They are talking to us. We have, in fact, acquired so many recently, the brands which are just like at the startup stage, where they are still figuring out their marketing strategy, etc. But they know that they need to be into this space, and they know that they need to invest into these kind of technologies, because I mean, it's something which is needed to be done. So better start early than start late.
So this notion of CX being the cost center and not the profit center, okay, how do you think this will get changed?
I think it's changing quite a bit. I remember, one of our first early adopters of our digital command center, one of this largest hospitality chain, they attributed close to $500,000 revenue at that time in a year, just because they were able to timely identify opportunities.
Okay.
Apart from that, like Shubhi said, it's sometimes difficult to put a number to it, but there's so many examples where somebody who was having a bad day with the brand, and because of a timely engagement turned into a great day, right? I think things go wrong, no matter what brand. I hope you guys remember the story of a very nice luxury brand from the top of the hotel location being fake bag sold. So things can happen wrong at the highest levels, right? So things will go wrong, no matter whether you are, the best luxury bag company, or the best hotel, or the best airlines, or whatever you are best at.
True.
How you navigate when things go wrong defines your long lasting relationships with a customer. Like airlines flights delays happen. How do you manage your customers, how do you treat them, is where it makes a difference. I think being available, being there, engaging makes a very long lasting impact, which I think people downplay quite a bit. And that has a very huge subconscious sort of decision playing in your back to figure out whether you want to re-engage with the brand or not. You had a horrible experience, somebody takes care of you, trust builds. Next time you know that, okay, you know what, they've got my back. You are sort of left in the lurch, and you'll never again for certain things engage ever, right? Like, so for example, I will never buy any medicine, healthcare product now from these quick delivery shops. I will not. So things that depends on, and it's how they manage, right? How they react makes a difference. So it's extremely important to be cognizant of it. I think if you want to build brand ambassadors, advocates, is how you treat your customers.
True that. True that. Coming to another bucket in the customer experience is omni-channel. Okay. So what does omni-channel mean to Locobuzz, Vishal?
I will let Vijay handle this. Vijay has been the beacon of omni-channel in Locobuzz. Vijay, over to you.
That is true.
Over
Yeah.
to you, Q. Yeah.
So, omnichannel in Locobuzz is first of all is giving brands in many cases for the first time an outpost in all of these channels, all of these customer touch points to be present, right? As Vishal said, you have to be present at the time of customers' crisis that they need you for to fix. Locobuzz helps you right there by enabling brands to be omnichannel right from the start. Right now, with omnichannel comes your only chance of having that one view of a customer. Your customers, no matter what, will talk to you from multiple other channels, and they expect seamless experience whenever they talk to you. You can now, with that experience and with that kind of operation, if you're running, you can connect that with your single customer record, drive multiple campaigns basis that, right? So you have a elevated customer understanding from there on. And switching between channels is always there, right? You are sometimes you want to have an email conversation, but at some point of time you want to shift to a call, and many cases you want to do a WhatsApp chat with the same customer, right? So it's a customer's choice to switch the channel. You need to be available, and you need to carry that context from the previous conversation, even if it is happening elsewhere in the channel universe, moving there, right? And then with omnichannel there are a lot of modern digital channels that kind of opens up the opportunity for automation, right? So for example, let's say I call up a customer service for a utility company. They say I have to wait for 20 minutes. There's no other go. But what if they had said, like, press 1 to continue this conversation over a WhatsApp? I can happily do that instead of waiting there. And really, at least if they cannot address me in person with live chat, there is a bot. There could be a bot available to take my concern and create a case already, right? So those kind of experiences are now possible via omni-channel experience. And brands are adapting to all of this. They are nudging customers to move to modern channels where automation is enabled. There's lesser cost to serve, and there are all the other benefits of immediate response and other things are possible, right? People who take this journey, seeing value in terms of first of all, right, giving that flexibility to the customer, right? That itself is a great thing to do. And running workflows, customer support, it is a team sport. It is a lot of other members in your organization need to contribute for that customer success. So you need, in a scale operation, you need workflows to run so that every time you are meeting to that promised SLA and promised experience. So with an omni-channel experience, you can actually run those workflows independent of a channel.
Also, you mentioned about customers adapting to the new age channels. In your experience with working with brands and working with customers, how fast are customers adapting to this modern age conversational communication channels? And leaving behind the traditional channels of communication.
I think the adoption for social and WhatsApp has been rapid, right? Let's say, like, we had this COVID, which kind of accelerated everything. But 5 years ago, the same brands that you now sometimes receive some automated messages from WhatsApp they were not present on WhatsApp. They were merely present on some of the social channels, right? So now they have actually seen the success with it. Right, and then the adoption has been rapid from there, and then the adoption is now twofold. One, natural adoption is from a marketing perspective because it has the proven ROI of open rates and things like that. And now with the need, because you're already opened a channel for communication with that customer via sending a WhatsApp message or anywhere else, when that person responds back with a question, with a complaint, what do? So now the CX side of adoption is now growing.
Interesting. Coming to you, Vishal, the rise of customer, want it now culture has been witnessed. How does Locobuzz enable brands to accommodate such requirements?
Sure. Very good question. Not only is it want it now, but want it now the way I like it. So it's extremely important that, apart from agility and speed, they want the personalization as well, right? And that's what makes the game very exciting. How does Locobuzz help people? Many profound things, many small things. So Nitin, my CTO, will kill me for it, but we don't put it on paper anywhere. But within a conversation being created about a brand, we have more than 60 to 80 microservices working on it, augmenting this data. And our engineering team has done the feat of bringing that data from creation to augmentation across the 60 to 80 services onto an agent's dashboard in a matter of seconds, 10 to 20 seconds at max. Okay. That's how real-time Locobuzz is. So we bring in a robust ticketing solution, literally real-time, so that your queries can be addressed in real time. Not only that, unlike any other platform out there, the agent who's looking at the conversation doesn't have to click on anything to get the context. Not only do we show the current conversation, we show the historic conversation, personal information, any kind of personal details shared earlier, all of it without even a single click. Okay. So you see the power of the platform and technology, which empowers the agent to be aware, to be personalized, to be in real time, right? We have the ability to also do self-serve. So in those odd hours where you are not able to put people, right, you can have very smart bots. We are already, sort of doing experiments, and we have already done one launch with GPT-3. So, gone is the day of, figuring out the ML, AI and blah, blah, blah. It's available for you to just open it up and really enable automation like never done before, right? And then, when you have these canned responses, translation features, very powerful, your ability to respond in real time goes up. And that's all what Locobuzz does, bringing it all together to ultimately improve your customer satisfaction score.
True. Any example that you would want to share, of a particular client, where
I have one story I can never forget. I remember one of my telco friends telling me that somebody tweeted from the store. Somebody was a Korean woman,
Korean lady,
with the SIM, and nobody was able to help her the way she wanted. She tweeted from the store. Before she left the store, the conversation was picked up by the central team. Immediately, the store manager was called, identified based on location, called and said, this lady should not leave before she gives you an A rating on the customer service. And trust me, it was done. That's how online and offline can come together. That's how a present online, right? I mean, when you're really connected and aware, you can make a difference.
No, that's very interesting. How the entire journey of, from tweeting, going to the central systems, and then, the person calling back to the store and the store person, addressing the grievance of that lady, that's a very great example of, putting together a great customer and delightful experience. And all that in a very short span of time, from the time she tweeted and, she wanted to leave the store. If you're able to resolve queries in that faster amount of time, in that quickness, I believe the customer will stay true to the brand for a longer time.
Yes.
Even for Devesh, even for like hospitality brands that we work with, the possibility that, okay, if somebody has written a bad review of your F&B, think about the experience while you're still having your meal. Your experience can change, because while you're still there, I can change that experience by sending out my property manager or GM of the hotel to go ahead and address that. And that just changes everything, because at the end of the day, customer experience is not, like I said, it's not just one opportunity, it's multiple opportunities that you get across the day, and you can seize it. So it's literally carpe diem. So it's up to you.
No, absolutely. And coming to you only, Shubhi, taking from the Vishal's answer, how does
Yeah.
Locobuzz solution empower service agents, to drive customer engagement and delights? Now, Vishal gave, very interesting example about, that how the Korean lady was helped. Now, how does Locobuzz solution, translate that?
So, see, think about a life of a service agent. They are actually doing a very, very repetitive task. So, right from managing the mentions, which are categorized automatically into their own categories, into their own sentiments, from there, then managing the whole ticket queuing and ensuring that wherever possible, we have also given options to select AI driven responses, because anything which can be scripted, which can be controlled with a process, can also be automated. So automation is something which we have already incorporated into the platform. So the agent which is working onto this CX solution does not have to type in their answers every single time. In fact, the first name, the resolution of all of that can also be is already actually automated into our system. So where we are actually helping the agent is basically removing all the repetitive tasks, whether it is doing the categorization, sentiment, translation, whether it is setting up the answers from the repository. So we are able to go ahead and help them with that. We are also able to go ahead and slash the workloads, because again, wherever it is possible, the first level, second level, third level, wherever, till whatever level AI can go ahead and respond to the query to the user, the AI will do that. And the minute it goes beyond the purview of the AI engine, that's when the ticket becomes like in the queue for the agent. And this also ensures collaboration, because you are able to go ahead and collaborate with multiple teams. Like Vijay mentioned earlier, it's a team sport. So how do you collaborate with different teams to ensure faster resolution time? Totally up to you. Now this basically helps the agent to focus more on things which can be the wow experiences that can be created, that we talked about, so that you are able to do more with every time that you have an opportunity to interact with the end user. And you're also having opportunities to cross sell, upsell, tell more about the product, tell more about the company, in a very, very soft manner, something which AI cannot, I wouldn't say cannot, but will not do right now.
True, true. And Vijay, this question is for you. How is the shift towards messaging and mobile first changing the landscape of customer experience? Because today everyone is going mobile first. I take out my phone 150 times a day, and I prefer to order my groceries or any apparels through mobile. I really don't prefer to go it via use my laptop or my desktops. So how is Locobuzz positioning itself to address these changes?
Yes. So, like you said, right? So messaging channels or messaging conversations are where you can build that one-on-one relationship with the customer.
True.
Earlier, it was that email, but email is slow, right? But messaging is very instant. How are we positioning ourselves is your one centralized framework for managing all of this conversation. Whenever there is a need for, whenever you are activating a messaging channel, it is advised to have some amount of automation right there, because your customers can message you anytime. There has to be that at least a greeting message to understand the customer intent, and then route it to the right agent, right? So that is what right Locobuzz supports. And the conversational framework that we have, you build it once and then it runs everywhere. Every messaging channel is just conversations, but everything has a couple of buttons extra in the conversation and things like that. Those complexity Locobuzz auto handles for the brand, so that they can focus on how you can drive this conversation and how you can get to a human fast if you can, and then solve that challenge for the customer. and then using this conversation intelligence and also like feeding into CRM, where you have richer customer data and more understanding of your customer, right? And then as I think I mentioned that messaging channels, especially WhatsApp, is now being used as a transactional message, right? When was the last time we all checked at least 5 of the SMSs that promotionally sent to us, except for OTP. I don't think so. We even check that. But WhatsApp as a channel boasts about 97% open rate, right? So transactional messages usually take that route because transactional messages and other promotional messages take that route so that you are informing your customer about the new offer. Now, ability to provide inline support to that promotional message is what Locobuzz brings to the table. Then it's and also we enable you to kind of make these mobile and web messaging experience possible, and also right, this adoption of newer channels, for example Telegram, for example other messaging applications, right, not so popular in India, but Line and other things elsewhere. These are there, and then brands can actually really like have their presence there, because you can be a contact in your customer's phone that is more easier to be rather than an app that they hardly use, right? So you can open up that conversation channel and maintain that relationship with that customer. We've seen the brands who adopt messaging channels, we're able to see right, they drive both commerce through that channel and also inline support for the commerce that has happened, all through the same communication window. So that kind of elevates the customer experience even further.
So how well does it improve the CSAT scores of the brands, when they subscribe to these messaging channels? It helps in commerce, it helps in support, it helps in nudging the customers, personalizing their journey. So is there an overall average by which the brand's CSAT score, changes?
I would not say an average, but definitely not only looking at CSAT score, but let's look at what builds up that CSAT score, right? Whenever you're on the messaging application, your customers are responding at a rapid pace. You, with other automation or auto suggestion ability, your ability to reply also goes up. And in many cases, to solve a customer problem, you need to have that conversation. You need to get 5 different information and then go ahead and solve for that challenge. The whole average handling time of that ticket for agents goes down like drastically compared to any other channel. Like email is worst in compared to this, right? One email sent to you today, the next follow-up may happen in the evening and things like that. Messaging is mostly happening in the same hour.
Yeah.
So while looking at this, the customers' problems are perhaps solved at the same hour. The chances of like customers' satisfaction, right, if measured, it's naturally higher there.
Interesting. Coming to you, Shubhi, what AI capabilities, are currently available for digital care, and how does it help in decreasing the customer churn and increasing the customer satisfaction?
Think about, I'm going to take a step back and think about from the customer perspective. Customers usually write online on social channels, especially when they are extremely frustrated and pretty much all other avenues have not given them any responses, or not given them responses that the desired time period itself, right? So that's when I am actually putting, if I am a frustrated customer, that's when I'm actually putting my concern online. So how can AI help me then? Multiple ways. Like I discussed earlier, AI can go ahead and acknowledge. The first and foremost thing is acknowledgement of my concern. So AI can go ahead and acknowledge that very, very beautifully. It can also post the first level response. It can route it to the right kind of agent within the system who can help with the resolution. And it can also go ahead and increase the sentiment upliftment score, because when you are doing all of this, you are obviously increasing the customer satisfaction. They feel that they are heard, and the overall SLA or the overall AHT of this particular ticket will reduce because of the beautiful interconnect of AI between the system and the human agent. So that cycle of this handling time will reduce considerably versus a pure play human agent driven system in which you're just doing it everything manually.
Okay, okay, that's absolutely fine. And with this AI, when the overall time for handling the grievances, for handling the tickets, goes down. So, how does it impact the overall productivity of the customer agents, which in turn kind of, becomes a little more profit center for the brands?
No, you're absolutely right, and we spoke about this in the last conversation which I was having with you right now. Because what happens is, if AI is actually streamlining all this process for the agent can be doing the work which is more for upselling, cross-selling, telling about the various. So I'm able to basically profile a kind of customer. Then I'm able to go ahead and give different kind of responses, create different kind of experiences for my customer, and in that process tell more about my company, tell more about what are the other products which are available, ask what are the problems which they are having apart from whatever we are working on right now, and then have a deeper relationship with the customer, which is not, like I said, I mean, it's just not one transaction. You have an opportunity to know more about your customer, and a human agent can definitely do that much better if all these repetition and other tasks are taken care of by the technology itself, and which is exactly what we do.
Interesting. Vishal, if you look at CX as an entire domain, what are some of the key trends that will be defining the future for it?
So I'm personally right now completely blown away by what GPT-3 is doing. So I feel, and Locobuzz just launched integration with GPT-3 also for our users to take the benefit of it, where we have been able to augment dashboarding and analytics using an AI, which is basically what it means is that it is deciphering the data and the charts in front of you. It is correlating it with other charts and data and coming up with intelligent inputs to describe what you're seeing. If that can be automated, so you can imagine the next step for us is obviously, helping you improve the quality of response, how to sound more softer, how to sound more, to the point, objective. Can you help me translate it into Bangla? We have always supported translation capabilities and all. So now for us, we feel, we are seriously looking at, moving away from some of the common translating APIs, which people have been using to more interesting ones. So there are a lot of interesting use cases. So I think augmented analytics, self-serve are the two major trends you will see ushering unheard of changes in the way this industry works in the next 6 months.
And in terms of trends, how will this adoption increase, from the brands?
I think that's very interesting. So what has happened, which is very cool and very counterintuitive, is when AI and ML became big, everybody started developing their own AI. And like I've had so many interactions where people are saying, I am using my own intent engine, I am building my own. And I'm talking not about AI companies, I'm talking about brands saying that we have an AI team and ML team and we are doing our own machine learning. I think one thing which brands and everybody would need to come clean out with is there's no need to develop yet another Google Maps. Right? You need to leverage what's out there and be open-minded about it. You cannot be fixated. No, I have done this investment, so I am going to continue using this and all of that. I think it's best to use something which is so good and so commoditized to personalize it for your benefit. Your runway, the time you would take to market an extensible product is just going to be mind-boggling, and it solves for what we call as many Indias, right? So it solves for the corner cases, it solves for different languages, it solves for different kinds of intent. So I think a lot will depend upon being open-minded about what's being available to saying, hum bhi bana lenge.
Yeah, that's very interesting actually. I believe this notion is a pretty much common thing across brands that hum bhi bana lenge. But yes, you're absolutely right. When there is a Google Maps out there, it's no point trying to go on and create another one. Rather than, it's much better if we think and put our resources and energy in trying to leverage it.
Yeah, and it depends on your use cases, right? If you're looking at doing such a huge thing for a focused use case, it is the time and the energy investment would not meet it, right? If I am Mercedes-Benz and I want to create a global routing solution, I may want to build my own maps. There might be some merit because of the vastness of the use case, right? But if I am trying to solve for my 100,000 customers, if I'm just going to solve for my 10 lakh customers, one needs to think about it.
And before I close the questions, and we go to one video that I would want you to play, I would want to understand, when it comes to the global scenario versus the Indian scenario, what is the trend which is there in the global scenario? Are brands, especially in the Western Hemisphere, are they spending on CX, and are the Indian brands catching up?
I think Vijay is raring to go on that. Absolutely, yes. But Vijay.
So yes, we see the technology adoption in enterprise West has always been at the forefront. But like in the last couple of years, we've seen the startups of the West and the mid market of the West was also like caught up with if not the best of the breed, but like they have tech stack that can really help them deliver the CX that they want to, right? So India is not very far behind. India is right there, but there are few things that India now is catching up. For example, the concept around data security, right? Customers are today in India is waking up to like, my data, how is it going to be used, right? So those are the newer things of customer experience challenges that India is seeing today. But what's available to the West is also available to India. Like brands are catching up, and there are newer as of today in 2023, the feature sets that are available to Western customers are also available to Indian customers. So the experience and the trend, we're already there. So yeah, India as a technology making country, we've chased, we've had a very good run so far, and we have the best technologies from a software perspective available from India.
Interesting. That's a very interesting perspective, Vijay. Now I would like to play a video, and show our audiences. Before we move on to the audience questions, I would now like audiences to take a poll. Can we have the poll up on the screen? Yeah, here it is. The first question is, are you ready to experience the true potential of Locobuzz CX suite to elevate your CX game? So let's begin with the audience questions first. So first question is, how does your platform approach personalization, and how does it help brands deliver personalized experiences to their customers?
So there are two, three ways which come to my mind right off the bat. Number one, you're able to quickly personalize how you respond, even using canned responses. So, how you refer to somebody gets personalized very, very quickly. Secondly, because your entire context of conversation is available for you, your agents can actually pick up the conversation from where they last left. So they have the entire history, they have the personal details all available to them in the single window. So their ability to engage with the user with an understanding of who they are and why they are here is much more. Thirdly, we do CRM integrations where we are able to then bring in this, one view of the customers. We've done it for very, very large companies to mid-sized small companies as well. So the idea is to be able to augment transactional and behavioral data and present it to the agent in a manner where they can, again, be very personalized in the conversation. For example, agent would be aware that, hey, there is a pending query via phone call available in the system, rather than, appearing completely clueless about the customer.
Right. Another question is, what are some of the biggest challenges when transitioning to seamless CX from a clunky and a broken CX?
Vijay, you want to take that? I think one of the biggest challenges, you have to, it'll require a lot of interesting calls from a process perspective also, not just limited to, technology.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll need to sort of change a lot of things the way they function within your organization to enable a good CX. A good CX is a reflection of how agile an organization is on addressing somebody's concern, not really on how quickly somebody can get a notification when a problem happens. So I think these two things are very interesting to look at. But Vijay, over to you for more details on this.
So the greatest challenge, if you continue to, if in today's day and age, you had a clunky software still, then you need a stronger leadership resolve to kind of really fix that problem, right? Once you have that management objective aligned to, yes, customer experience is key, we need to fix it, then a lot of other decisions becomes easy. When you move from a software to software in today's day and age, there is no challenge as say per se. From a experience standpoint, even today, like your customer experience or customer service, when you speak in general, you need to train a lot many users. So with respect to, if you are moving to the seamless experience that is Locobuzz, you get trained on the platform via product tours and things like that. So that becomes super easy for your agents to navigate the system and learn it in an hour of the first day, and solve customer challenges in the same hour as well. So no challenges.
Interesting. Another question is that, Locobuzz has recently integrated with GPT-3 in CX Suite. So, how does integration of Locobuzz and ChatGPT-3 technology enhance CX management for brands, and what unique value does it bring to the table compared to the traditional CXM solutions?
Again, it's our integration with GPT is to bring in the last mile of AI, right? Which is super cool already, to bring it to context to use in conversations. So helping agents to frame their responses better and hit send when they are okay with it. Ability to summarize the entire conversation so that they can view it in 4 to 5 lines, like for example 20-25 interactions summarized in 25 or just 5 to 6 lines, so that the next person, L2 person, has a better understanding of what is this case is all about. Right. So it's all about helping frontline executives with using their time very well, because certain things are now perfected by AI, and you can do that on the fly. Then helping the CX leaders and managers whenever they look at a data point in the graph, right? Ability to get a insight from that graph, which is verbatim, they can just read it and look at the data and see. I can actually see the full picture of what may be happening, and then interested parties to investigate further can do a deep dive and then understand what is causing that as well.
Yeah. Think of it like, the first step Locobuzz has taken, how Microsoft is enabling GPT for Teams. Think of is our first step towards enabling a really advanced AI to make agents and CX professionals and brand custodians far more efficient in what they do, far more productive, and even give them a collaborative assistance, or an assistant rather, where they can even brainstorm and ideate and improve how they're thinking about it, whether it is figuring out the type of responses, whether it is figuring out the impact of a campaign, whether it is understanding how users have reacted. All of that now can be done, partially fully automated. And automation is really not the important thing here. It's like how efficiently it can be done, and how a person can have more time to do more interesting things.
Great. Some very interesting insights have come out of this discussion, especially around how brands can actually improve their CX, enhance their overall CSAT scores, and how they can convert it more from a cost center to a profit center. We have completely run out of time for other questions, but thank you very much, Vishal, Shubhi, Vijay. It was really great interacting with you on this subject. Thank you very much. And thank you very much, audiences.
It was a pleasure for us. Thank you so much for having us here. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Devesh.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.